This video is going to briefly go over mass extinctions, what have caused them throughout Earth's history, and how we can determine that mass extinctions have happened while looking at the fossil record. Well, to start, we need to get comfortable with what extinction actually means. An extinction is when you don't have any more individuals of a specific species alive anywhere else in the world. So some examples of extinct species, one is the woolly mammoth. Another one are dinosaurs. Now, that's not a specific species. Dinosaur is more of a group. There are specific species of dinosaurs, but we all know about dinosaurs that they are no longer around because they are extinct. And also the saber-toothed tiger, which went extinct about 10,000 years ago. Now, there's a difference between extinctions and mass extinctions. Now, a mass extinction is when you have at least half of all your species die out in a very short amount of time. So you're not just having one organism going extinct, it's many, at least half of your species on Earth going extinct at one time. Now, mass extinctions can be caused by a variety of things, but mostly are linked to the environment. So large-scale changes in climate and environmental conditions can lead to those mass extinctions where at least 50% or more of the species on Earth die out. So over Earth's history, there's been many mass extinctions. I'm just going to highlight the top 5. So 440 million years ago, you had a mass extinction where most of your small marine organisms died out. And the reason for that is you had a beginning of a glacial period. And when you have cold periods where ice forms, you get a drop in sea level, which of course is going to threaten the marine organisms, because if you're taking away the habitat, you're going to have extinction of those species. Another one was 365 million years ago, where you had many tropical organisms die out. Now, this was because of a change in climate. Tropical organisms need a very warm climate to survive, so you change the climate, those organisms can't adapt and they die. Also, there was a big decrease in the amount of oxygen in the ocean at that time, and of course, the species that depend on the oxygen weren't able to adapt. 250 million years ago, we had the largest mass extinction on record for Earth. You had 96% of species that have gone extinct. Now, the reason for this is very similar to others: change in climate, decrease in ocean oxygen, and volcanic eruptions were also prevalent at this time to aid in this change in climate, as well as the mass extinction of this large amount of species. Now, 210 million years ago, there was another mass extinction where a lot of vertebrate species went extinct, but this was also really great for the dinosaurs because their competition went away and dinosaurs were able to start to flourish after this mass extinction, and this was caused mostly by volcanic activity. After 210 million years ago, you had an abundance of dinosaurs. Until 65.5 million years ago, you had the mass extinction of a dinosaur, but that was also great for the mammals because since the dinosaurs went extinct, mammals were able to become more abundant. And this was mostly due to an asteroid impact, also volcanic eruptions, change in climate. If you remember from earlier this year, when you have asteroid impacts and volcanic eruptions, all the debris and dust that fills the atmosphere blocks out the sunlight, which cools down the climate. So if the asteroid didn't kill the dinosaurs, the change in climate that happened after also could have caused this mass extinction. So how can we determine that mass extinctions happened millions of years ago when humans weren't around to record it? We look at the fossil record once again. So the fossil record can provide evidence of mass extinction throughout Earth's history. So when a species suddenly stops appearing in the fossil record, you can no longer find a specific fossil in the rock layers. That's clues to scientists that, hey, maybe that species went extinct. If you look at this diagram here on the right, you have 4 different types of organisms in 4 of the rock layers. I'm going to focus on the bottom, the trilobites. The trilobites, you do not see them appear in other layers that are more recent. That's not a coincidence. If you don't see the trilobites appear in younger rock layers, the general conclusion is that that species went extinct. So here's another example. This diagram here on the right side is showing different time periods throughout Earth's history, as well as different fossils that existed over time. So remember how these diagrams work. You have your past near the bottom, your older rocks, your older fossils, and your younger, more recently formed rocks and fossils are going to be near the top where you have your present day. So to start, we're going to look at the mass extinction that occurred here 250 million years ago. If you remember from before, that was the largest mass extinction in our Earth's history that killed 96% of the species. The most prominent type of species that was killed are these organisms called trilobites. If you look at the bar that we just highlighted in blue, that bar labeled trilobites suddenly stops at that point in the graph. It did not continue because that marks the extinction. Trilobites are not found in more recently formed rock layers, which is evidence that that species has gone extinct. And just in case you're not really sure what a trilobite is, here's the 3 examples of different type of trilobite species to show you what those organisms looked like. They lived for a really long time, but they could not survive that mass extinction 250 million years ago. And since then, they disappeared from the rock record, from any rocks that formed after that mass extinction. Another mass extinction, a lot closer to the present, is 65.5 million years ago, and that was the mass extinction that killed the dinosaurs. So if you look here at this orange highlighted bar, you see that the dinosaurs just stop at that point. They did not continue on closer to the present because they went extinct. And we know that we do not have dinosaurs roaming the earth at this time, so this mass extinction showing the dinosaurs just stop at that point 65.5 million years ago.